Let me tell you a story about a courtroom, a judge, and a man who walked in, looking like a defendant, but standing like something far more dangerous. A man with truth in his back pocket. The courtroom was hot that morning. Old fans creaked in the ceiling. People shifted on benches. Another case. Just another black man brought in for resisting arrest. His name was Tyrone Elijah Carter. He wore a plain grey hoodie, quiet shoes, steady eyes, the kind of man people don't look at twice, unless they're looking down on him. Behind the bench sat Judge Horace Bellington, a man who'd grown comfortable in his robe, too comfortable with his own assumptions. He looked up, then he smirked. You can't even dress properly for court? Thought this was a courtroom, not a street corner. The gallery chuckled. Tyrone said nothing. So what were you doing at AM, son? Lost on your way back to the jungle? And that's when the room went still. Dead still. But Tyrone, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't even frown. He just stood. Tall, silent, unmoved. Your Honor, he said finally. I'm here to correct a mistake. The judge leaned forward. Oh, you're here to educate me now. But Tyrone didn't flinch. He simply reached into his back pocket and pulled out a badge. The whole room shifted. The silence cracked like thunder. Detective Tyrone Carter. Internal Affairs. And suddenly, the man they mocked, the man they laughed at, was the man with more power than any of them realized. Tyrone spoke calmly. I was off duty. I witnessed a woman being assaulted outside a store. I intervened, and then I was arrested, because no one stopped to ask. He laid papers on the judge's bench. They assumed I was the threat. You assumed I was the problem, but I was the one doing what your system was supposed to do, protect. The judge stammered. Well, why didn't you say you were a detective? And Tyrone, he leaned forward. Because I wanted to see if truth mattered without the badge. And the room, the gallery, the lawyer, they all stared, not just at him, but at themselves. How many others had come through this court voiceless? How many were buried under labels before a word was even spoken? The judge dropped the charges, but the story didn't stop there. It hit the news, blew across social media, sparked internal reviews. That judge, suspended. And Tyrone, he didn't walk away bitter. He walked away bigger. Weeks later, a young man found him outside the courthouse. You're that guy from the case. They tried to find me, but they dropped it. I think they were scared. Tyrone smiled. They weren't scared. They were reminded. And maybe that's what this world needs. Not fear, but reminders. Reminders that justice isn't a robe, or a gavel, or a badge. It's a voice, steady, calm, unshakable, like Tyrone's. True power is not in the robe, the badge, or the bench. It's in the courage to speak truth when silence is safer.
What would you have done if you were in his shoes? Do you think justice was truly served? Let me know your thoughts and if this moved you. Subscribe for more real stories that speak truth to power.